Well, if you thought that the Quest Gaming Showcase wasn't going to happen this year, you would have been wrong, because we just finally got an announcement for the Meta Quest Gaming Showcase this year. This will be the third annual showcase, and it's going to be happening on June 1st at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Now, that's not the only thing that was teased, but let's go over the details of the event and why it's super exciting. Plus, we're going to do one of my favorite things today. We're going to do some speculation and talk about what games could be there or we hope are there. So first of all, some concrete news. There's a blog post on Meta's website for a save the date for the Meta Quest Gaming Showcase, and it says it's returning on June 1st. You'll be able to watch it on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and in Meta Horizon worlds as well if you would like to watch it in VR that way. The blog post specifically says, this is a banner year for VR, and the third annual Meta Quest Gaming Showcase is our biggest celebration of the depth and breadth of content across the Meta Quest platform yet. We'll have over 40 minutes of content. 40 minutes! That's incredible, and a lot longer than previous gaming showcases. That'll be almost 15 minutes longer than last year's showcase, which should give plenty of time for hopefully a lot of amazing announcements. The blog post continues on to say, including a brand new pre-show of game updates and debut trailers to help you count down before the showcase kicks into high gear. This will be a pre-show that'll actually start before the showcase, so make sure you show up early. This is going to be showcasing updates and trailers from upcoming games that are just not part of the showcase. It doesn't mean we aren't going to get premieres, because it does specifically say debut trailers, so we probably will get some announcements in the pre-show as well. It just won't be the specific ones that they picked for the gaming showcase. Plus, after the gaming showcase, there's going to be a post-show developer roundtable for a deep dive conversation around some upcoming games. So that'll be cool. We'll get a lot of extra information from those roundtable deep dives. Not sure what developers will be there. Doesn't give us any information about that, but it'll be fun to see what they have to say about these games that are going to be announced. Then it continues on and says, as in past years, you can expect new game announcements, gameplay first looks, updates to existing games, and more during the main event. As I mentioned, it's going to be on June 1st. The pre-show does start at 9:45, and it's going to be hosted again this year by Ruth Bram. She'll be hosting the main event. If you don't know who that is, she is the Oculus Studios executive producer, so the head of the Oculus Studios, which is their internal gaming studio. The first year that did the MetaQuest Gaming Showcase, it was pretty good. The second year was even better, and this year, let's hope it's going to be amazing. Now, there was actually a tease at the end of this trailer, and we're going to talk about that tease because this could be super exciting for Quest and hopefully for PC VR too. We'll see what this actually ends up being, but what you're seeing here right now, I'm just going to play this over several times, is the date and everything on the screen. But if you look, you'll see a figure in the background, and you'll see what looks like a helmet on the ground in a desert sort of place. Now, if you take this helmet and you search for a specific game in Google, you'll see that helmet being worn by the person that wears it, or at least seemingly that same helmet. That game is Asgard's Wrath, and that is Loki's helmet from Asgard's Wrath, or at least it looks very similar. You're seeing on screen right now the picture that shows him wearing it, and here's a side-by-side with the helmet on the ground. It looks nearly identical. Now, this could be Asgard's Wrath ported to the Quest, which I think is going to be the case. I think they will bring Asgard's Wrath to the Quest, and that's part of this announcement, although this isn't what this tease is for necessarily. I think this is a tease for the follow-up to Asgard's Wrath. Now, there's some names that have floated around that Meta has trademarked and all that stuff. I'm not going to talk about those because I'm not 100% sure how accurate those are, but this seems to indicate it is the sequel, or at least next part, I'm not sure if sequel is the right word, to Asgard's Wrath that was a PC VR game. You're seeing that on screen now. Incredible, incredible PC VR game. If you haven't played it, it's beautiful. I haven't finished it yet. I've played a little ways into it, and what I played was a lot of fun. It's a very in-depth, story-based game. Now, before I mention why this is probably the follow-up, Asgard's Wrath would be probably the longest game, or one of the longest games on the Quest if it does get ported, which is why I really hope it gets ported, because it's got approximately a 30-hour game campaign. That's just the primary campaign. That's not like getting every single thing unlocked, doing everything, in the actual game. The main campaign, people estimate it to be somewhere between 20 and 40 hours. But having looked at a lot of what people have said, it's approximately in between there, somewhere around 30 hours. Depends on how fast you push to get through it. 30 hours. Think of that. When was the last time you played a VR game that was 30 to 40 hours of gameplay? That would be massive. The only issue I can see with that is how big is this game going to be if it does launch on Quest? Like, how many gigabytes is it going to be? The Quest 3 is going to have to be a terabyte sized headset if this is going to continue with these massive games. This isn't confirmed, obviously, so we don't necessarily know that the first game is going to be coming to Quest. I would assume if they're going to bring the sequel or the follow-up to Quest, they would bring the first one as well, and it would be part of the announcement. But this is meta, so you never really know. Now back to why this seems to indicate that this is the follow-up. I have not finished the game, but from what I've talked to people about, the game finishes with a direction towards there being like a desert area. Like it kind of indicates that the continuation of the story would continue on in a desert area. Now what you're seeing here is a desert area. I think this very well could be a follow-up. Lots of words to say this is probably a follow-up to Asgard's Wrath, and I would hope that the original Asgard's Wrath would come out for Quest as well, so that people can play through that long 30-hour story campaign and then want this game. In fact, it's possible, now don't quote me on this, possible that the game Asgard's Wrath could either launch on the day of MetaQuest Gaming Showcase, probably not, or later on this fall, and the follow-up game won't be out until next year or something. That's a possibility that would make a lot of sense. Now, also remember that the gaming showcase last year, the games in that showcase, most of them indicated that they would be launching within the year from that showcase. And as far as I know, most of that has been the case with games like NFL Pro Era, Moss Book 2, and especially things like Bone Lab. The only one in the showcase I think that hasn't launched yet is Ghostbusters, and that's supposed to launch this year, and it was made clear that it would be launching further ahead than the rest of the games. So hopefully we're about to top up on those coming soon games, the exciting ones with this showcase. What else do you want to see there? Let me see. What would I like to see there? I would love to see something new, but number one, I'd love to see Behemoth. I want to know more about that game. It's supposed to launch, I believe, this year. I'm guessing probably for the holiday season of this year. Behemoth looks to be fantastic, and with the track record the developers have had with The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners 1 and 2, I think this has potential to be an excellent game, and I cannot wait for it to come out, so I'm hoping we get some more on that. And the obvious ones would be Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, would be a huge thing to have an update on that, which we have not heard anything about. Assassin's Creed would be amazing to hear something about as well. I also wouldn't mind hearing about whatever all of the internal studios that Oculus owns or Meta owns now. And I'd even really like to see Onward 2 if they're going to come out with something like that. That's been hinted at for years. Specifically though, what would you like to see? Let me know in the comments what game that you would love to see more information about, or tell me a game you'd love to see ported, like Resident Evil. I would love to see more games like that ported over. Let me know what you think. I know this is a long, drawn-out conversation going over kind of nothingness and nonsense, but I love nothingness and nonsense. I love to speculate. Speculation is one of my favorite things, and it's just fun to sit and shoot the breeze and speculate with you all about what could be coming. I know I'm excited for the Quest Gaming Showcase on June 1st, less than a month now. Let me know down below what you're most excited to see or what you want to see. Also, let me know if you'd like me to live stream the event. I don't live stream, but I am considering doing it for this just because I think it'd be fun to hang out. Maybe bring some snacks to the table. We can all bring some snacks and hang out and just watch this long showcase. But let me know down below if there's something you would be interested in. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to check out more of my videos, you can grab that one right there on the screen and check it out. And as always, happy questing.